friends, today we're going to make onomatopoeia projects inspired by the work of Roy Lichtenstein. Roy Lichtenstein was an artist who created a lot of artwork in the mid-1950s and that was inspired by comic books. And onomatopoeia, there are words that imitate sounds. Words like bam, boom, pow, eek, wham, shh, arg, buzz, click, crash, clang, bang, smash, smack. And you can also use a choice of using an interjection. Interjections are usually words that show emotion, like "oh man," or "wow," or "cheers," or "congratulations," or "yes," "hallelujah," "hey," "woohoo," "sweet," "word," "yuck," "oops," "dude," "bruh," "wee," "awesome," "dope," or "cool." Now, you are going to design out your choice of word, whether it's onomatopoeia or interjection, and we're going to design them on the next page. You're going to start off with your word. You're going to figure out how you're going to embellish your word with either a couple of layers of shapes, and your bottom layer is going to be a square. So I've decided that I was going to use the word dope, and for those of you that don't know, the word dope means impressively cool. First, I'm going to start off with my square, and I decided that I was going to take my yellow paper and cut it into a square. It's 12 inches on each side. And the colors that we all have to choose from are red, yellow, and blue because comics back in the 1950s, they primarily used red, yellow, blue, black, and white in varying combinations of those. So I'm starting off with yellow, and I decided that I want to make a pattern on my yellow space. I am going to use kind of a calm pattern, so I'm using blue in straight lines. So I have 8 to start off with. I could use more if I want to. And I'm just going to put this blue underneath here, and I'm going to glue it down to my paper. So, taking my glue, starting off with my first strip of blue, I'm doing dot, dot, not a lot. The reason why we do dot, dot, not a lot is so that we don't make a big mess. And I'm going to lay this blue vertically right here. Press it. Alright, so after I make my pattern base layer, I am going to go ahead and use white to make my next layer and for a shape. And I can use any shape I want. The shapes I have on my planning page, I originally had clouds followed by a starburst pattern. It's kind of like a star. I'm wondering if I'm going to stick with a cloud. I'll go ahead and I'll try a cloud. And I'm just going to make my cloud. I want it almost the same size as the paper, but not exactly the same size. And I don't want it to be perfect all the way around. I do like my clouds lumpy and bumpy and funny looking. Look at that lumpy, bumpy, funny looking cloud. Okay. I'm going to cut this out. So there's my lumpy, bumpy cloud shape. Now, after I've made my lumpy, bumpy cloud shape, I can take my lumpy, bumpy cloud shape and I can trace it right onto this black paper. And the reason why I'm tracing it onto the black paper is I want to create a drop shadow. So I'm going to take my pencil, and it's hard for you to see on this camera, but pencil lead is reflective. The graphite is reflective, so it's easy for me to see my pencil lines created on the black paper. So I am drawing my lumpy bumpy cloud shape. And I'll put these scraps to the side. So now, when I place my two lumpy bumpy cloud shapes together, I can separate it down so it creates a drop shadow. But I'm going to flip it this way so that it creates a drop shadow. See how cool that is? So, first I'm going to glue down my black lumpy bumpy cloud. And then I'm placing my lumpy bumpy cloud shape down and to the right. Then, I'm going to take my white, and I'm not going to line up exactly, but I'm going to shift it up and over so it looks like the black creates a shadow. Press it down. And there's my lumpy bumpy cloud shape. Okay, so now that I have made my cloud and I've dropped its shadow, I decided I'm going to make my starburst design before I make the text for my artwork. So, I'm only using this white oil pastel so you all can see my lines. I am going to start off with making a zigzag. And some of my zigs and some of my zags, some of my ins and outs, they can be larger or smaller. I can skip around and add larger spaces and smaller spaces. So that's my zigzag design, and then I'm going to cut it out. And if I have my starburst coming off of my paper, that's perfectly fine. If I want to use black paper to cast a shadow, I can do that as well. Alright, so now that I have finished my solid background and I've added some patterns, after I've made my first shape and dropped a shadow, made my second shape and dropped a shadow, now I'm going to work on making my text. Ooh. So, I'm going to pick one of the colors that I've already used. I'm going to choose to use blue because it's a very little bit of blue, and I think it will look pretty cool if I have blue last. And I'm going to write the word dope. Now, if I look closely at my design, I made sure that each one of my letters is touching the letter that's next to it. The reason for that is so that when I cut it out, I can cut it out like one shape. So, I'm going to write the word dope, and as I told you before, dope means impressively cool. So I'm making my D, my O, my P. I think I'm going to curve it a little bit. P, my E. Scoot it over. So I have my D-O-P-E for dope. I still have not made my windows. So I have my window for my D, my window for my O, my window for my P. And I'm going to fold my paper just a little bit, enough to cut a slit into the window to make room for my scissors to cut out its window. D-O-P-E for dope. Now, if I want to, I can drop shadow. Of course, I want to drop a shadow. It's going to be awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of my black scrap paper. So, I have my design. I have my letters in the foreground, my letters in the background. Here, I'm going to drop my shadow down first. Make sure that you are putting the glue on the back of the word, not the front of the word. Dot, dot, not a lot. Dot, dot, not a lot. And you can arrange it any way you want to. I want my letters going like this. I'm going to drop it down just a bit. And then I can also glue down my word dope. And now I'm done.